Let's take a look at drop down and multiple and the difference between the two when allow single only is ticked on a multiple. So I'm just going to quickly show you this database. So it's called fruit, my favourite fruit or something like that. So look, fruit survey. And what it's here for is just to ask people about their fruit preferences. So here we've got a drop down at the top. Then we've got a multiple, which is how much you like fruit, and it's got allow single only ticked, and then we've got a multiple which doesn't have that ticked. We'll see what that looks like on the front end, and we'll see why we might want to choose multiple with this ticked versus a drop down. So this is what it looks like on the front end. So both the drop down and the multiple with allow single only ticked look exactly the same. So I'm going to complete this form a couple of times. Before doing that, I'm just going to connect so I don't have to keep adding my email address. I'm going to connect as test@test.com. And we'll get the padlock code. And the padlock ID is KDNW, and the code for that is this, which I've just copied and pasted from the email. So we're now connected as test@test.com, so that means that when we enter items into a form, we don't have to add our email address. Dataflex link already knows who we are. So let's add a couple of these things. Let's do a couple of these. I'm going to fast forward through this. I'm going to add a few, and then we'll see what it looks like with a search. Okay, so I've added a few things. So let's take a look at the search so we can really see the difference between the drop down and the multiple with allow single only ticked. So we've got the drop down, which is if I had the choice, I'd eat only fruit, only vegetables. And then we've got this multiple, which is how much do you like fruit, and where we've ticked allow single only. So we've seen how this works on the front end, where we see just the drop down. And then multiple, which is a standard multiple where we can add multiple items. There we go. So let's take a look at the search to see the difference. And here you can see the difference between drop down and a multiple with allow single only ticked. So with a drop down we can only search on a single item. With multiple with allow single only ticked, we can search on multiple items even though a person has only added one item. So let's see if we can do that now. So I'm going to add everything, and we'll choose oranges, and let's see what that looks like. So here we go, this is what this search looks like. What I'm going to do is remove the required from all the fields just so we can do searches on individual items to see the difference. So let's go back to the database, and we need to go to the search. So the search is number 5. I'm just change that up here. And we're going to say that none of these items are required. So now on this side we should be free to add whichever field we want to. So let's choose all of these. There we go. Which means we get every single item in the list. So if you use the drop down only, we'll see that we can only choose one item. So let's do that one. And we can see that we only get the one item. We cannot choose both. So that clarifies the difference between this drop down and this multiple with allow single only ticked. Let's just quickly look at that on the database, and we see that even though it's a multiple we can only choose one item, and that does help us with our search.